Debbie Does Doubt.
Debbie does. One day that will be on here. But yeah. Captain Ron here, as I was saying, you're going to show it eventually.
Obviously, I'm going to show it. It's called the Physical Media Show.
Welcome to America's hottest hotline. Guys, how many are waiting for
Vinegar Syndrome. Guys.
And there's a new one, and that's Air Force One.
Get off my plane. I think Sony paid you a bunch of money to talk about all their steelbooks today.
Screen movies.
But, you know...
Are we seriously going to have to talk about the screen movies again?
This is a movie I didn't think I'd like as much as I did. And I know it was, like, really popular because it, like, won some Oscars and whatever. But,
Debbie Does Doubt.
Since we're actually showing something, is they actually produced crew jackets. Like, the movie never went into production, but it is. Oh, it's got a Delta Force 2 emotional.
Hey, that works either way.
That's cool.
Is anyone even there still? I don't even know.
Yeah, we're just listening to
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, no one's saying it. Like,
really
is this a story?
It's on Netflix if you want to watch it.
Hello, fellow worlds. Welcome back to FanZcene. This is the Physical Media Show. We're starting a little early tonight, and it's just going to be me and my good friend Tom here tonight. So, how you doing, Tom?
Hello.
Hello. I'm so Ronry, Mr. Ronry.
So Ronry and Ronry around. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing good tonight. I hope everybody out there is doing good tonight. I'm going to say hi to the chat real quick. So what's up, Random Brad? Always glad to see you here as well. Mead Ray, Tim Hayes. Yes, Mead Ray. Tell your friends, everybody in the chat, everybody watching. We started early tonight. Share it out. You know, make sure everybody knows. So hell to you guys. Hell to Tim Hayes. Hell Anonymous Gamer. Style Section. Let's go. Yes, A Sandlin. Early start tonight. RJ Godzilla 81. Hi to you. Jackson G, what's up, my good friend? Glad to have you here. Cool Gamer, hello to you. Uncommon Sense, hell to you. Berserker, there you go. Hell, Berserker 99, welcome. Glad to have you in the chat with us tonight. To everybody watching, thank you so very much for joining us this evening and spending some good time talking about some physical media. So, we figured it might be a little bit of a quicker show tonight. Runner's not going to join us, and me and Tom didn't get much watch this week. It's been sort of a busy week, but we got enough watched and enough to talk about for you guys. So we'll get to it here in a minute. Is there anything you want to go over before we get into our picks here, Tom?
Don't matter to me. You can do the 4K for you video if you want to. Otherwise, we can just get into the picks. Don't matter to me.
Yeah, you go ahead. It gives us a little moment to, set things up. So, yeah, if you don't mind, we'll play that. And that's greetings, Tyrell. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Greetings, Tyrell. Glad to have you here. Yeah, we're a little early tonight. So,
yeah, just a tad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make it up for all the times we've been late.
Yeah.
Hello there, and welcome to your 4K for you news and rumors for the week of August 16th, 2023. Looks like Sony will be releasing The Way We Were in time for the 50th anniversary on October 17th, 2023. Criterion has a nice slate coming up here. You can expect The Last Picture Show in 4K on November 14th. Jackie Chan has a 4-disc Blu-ray set, including the movies Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, Spiritual Kung Fu, Fearless Hyena Part 2, Young Master, and My Lucky Stars. Also coming on the 21st of November from Criterion, you can get Mean Streets in 4K and Days of Heaven in 4K coming soon. Megan will be hitting 4K on October 10th, and there's a look at the Steelbook. Speaking of Steelbooks, here's a look at the Manta Lab exclusive 4K Steelbook for The Flash. You can expect that on the 27th of October. Speaking of October, you can expect the Pumpkinhead Best Buy 4K Steelbook, as you see here, around the same date as Scream Factory's release. Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, will also be getting a steelbook on the 19th of October. The Mist will also get a 4K exclusive steelbook on the 3rd of October. There's a look at that. We get a god-awful, ugly Universal Monsters collection containing all the 4K releases to date.
Very ugly.
3rd of this year. It Came From Outer Space is getting a 4K restoration and collector's edition on the 3rd of October from Universal. Elemental will get a Best Buy steelbook as well on the 26th of September. There's a look at that. Memento is getting a steelbook on the 25th of September from 101 Films. It, The Terror from Beyond, is getting a 65th anniversary Blu-ray special edition on the 24th of October from Kino Lorber. Speaking of Kino Lorber, we'll also get the Red Dragon 4K on that same day from them. The Challenge also comes on the 31st of October from Kino Lorber on Blu-ray. Speaking of Blu-rays and Halloween, American Ninja 1 and 2 will also bow on that day, as well as a re-release of Enter the Ninja with a higher bitrate. That, of course, has already been released by Kino Lorber before, but a bit of a upgrade there. Sneakers is also coming soon from Kino Lorber. No date on that yet, but it will get a 4K scan, as will Two Mules for Sister Sarah. No date on that yet from Kino Lorber, but it's expected later this year. In the rumor mill, we got The Naked Gun coming in November from Paramount, as well as There Will Be Blood. Chinatown looks like it might be getting announced soon from Arrow. And Body Double is also looking to be released this October from Sony. That's your news and rumors. See you on the show. There you go. Hello?
I'm still muted. I boomered it. I was sitting there talking to you, and I was like, yeah, there we go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I hope you guys saw some titles in there that you want to add to your physical media collection. There's a few there that I think Tom and I were going to add. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I hope we give you guys something to think about tonight. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, let's get to it, because sadly, we really didn't get much watch this week, and so Runner won't be joining us. But
and I got to get to bed early, so
yeah. So, but we'll put on a good show for you tonight. So, Tom, let's go ahead. Let's start. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first since it's tonight?
I can go first. Don't matter to me. It's up to you.
You go first. Let's see what you got for your first.
All right. Well, here's one, and I couldn't find my other one to go with it, but here's a movie that I paid a lot of money for back in the day. Dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Dragon Master is another one I did, but recently Arrow Video put out this really nice box set. It did have a slip cover that I just took off for this, so I didn't have to mess with it. And inside here you can get the Empire Classics, Arena, Robot Jocks, Cellar Dweller Dolls, and Dragon Master, along with a book. And these are new scans of all the films. I got them all flipped over to their original video art, so you can see here Robot Jocks, which is from a actually it's from a 2K scan of the camera negative. I'm sorry, I said 4K scan earlier. My bad. But it looks great. It does look really good.
Nice.
From what I've seen of it. Dragon Master here, which actually has 3 different versions of the movie on it, believe it or not.
Nice.
Also from the negative. We have Dolls from an Inner Positive. It does look a little bit better than the old Shout one, and all the Shout features are carried over there. Cellar Dweller here, which I believe has been on Blu-ray before, but what it says here is featuring additional grading and picture restoration, which means whatever scan they had before, I believe it's the same scan for that. And Arena is also a new 2K restoration from a 35 millimeter print. But as I said earlier on 4K for you, it's off center, bad, and you can tell. I'm assuming that that's just the way the inner positive ended up from the negative, and Charlie Band just didn't want to spend the money to fix it. And since then, the negative has been lost. But this is a really good movie, actually.
Yeah.
I was really impressed by it, considering. Cellar Dweller was okay. It was pretty decent. Not as good as I was hoping it would be. Dolls, of course, is a classic. If you haven't seen it already, it's kind of a predecessor to Puppet Master. I almost kind of consider it in the Puppet Master kind of world in a weird way. And then, of course, Dragon Master. decent enough. It's all right. It's kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons movie before Dungeons and Dragons. And
Yeah.
Robot Jocks, of course, is just fun. Robots fighting robots kind of thing, big ass robots. So almost like Pacific Rim before Pacific Rim in a weird way, or kind of like a lot of the mech anime stuff or whatever you want to call it.
Better than
Oh,
Pacific
but
Rim.
yeah. And like I said, it also comes with a book, which is kind of laid out like an old school video magazine, which is kind of neat. But it's chock full of images and poster art and all kinds of neat stuff. And yeah, it's
Yes,
it was a pretty good set. I think you can get it for like 80 or 90 bucks. Still, I think you said it's getting low on quantities though, so you might want to
yeah.
get it before it's gone.
I heard there's like 500 copies left in America, so they're probably pretty low. And I know some people are already spiking the price up on eBay, so make sure you get it through a legitimate source because they're still pretty decently priced right now. eBay will always price gouge you, so make sure you keep a good lookout on that. But yeah, that sounds amazing. I've been those movies are awesome. I love Charlie Brand stuff.
Yeah.
Empire Pictures. So cool. It's like the precursor before Full Moon, and he did some really crazy good movies there. So
yeah, hopefully get like a volume 2 and 3 out of this. I mean, I know they're doing the Ghoulies movies separately.
Yeah, for
but MVD's got them. Yeah. But no, for the rest of the Empire movies, because I think outside of Ghoulies and like a couple other things, either he got the rights back or somebody ended up buying them all. But like, yeah, I mean, he's all over the special features of these things. So, because I know he used to always have the rights to Trancers, but I think he went and bought a bunch of the Empire rights back, but I can't remember now.
Yeah, he bought some because I know Trancers is one of them. Was it?
Yeah, well, he's always owned Trancers. That was the only one he really kept, I believe.
Yeah, that was one he really liked. I'm trying to remember because you go into like the Full Moon streaming app. He's got some Empire movies on there.
Yeah, pretty much all those Empire movies are ones he bought. Yeah.
So
bought the rights back to or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he owns the rights to certain ones of them, but not all of them. Like he doesn't no longer own the rights to Ghoulies, so that's probably why you'll never get a Ghoulies set with him. So, he still has Puppet Masters. That was Full Moon. That was like Full Moon flagship right there, Puppet Masters. So he has all those.
Yeah, he still has. Yeah.
Yeah. So he never got rid
about
of
the 4K not too long ago. It's all right. It's not great, but
you think we'll ever get any more of the Puppet Masters on 4K or just that third one?
I think we'll get at least the first movie. Otherwise, I think it's weird that they started with 3, but yeah, I think that might just be because that's the most popular and probably sold the best.
Yeah.
So my guess is they'll probably do 3 and 1. If those sell okay, then maybe they'll do the rest. But I would be surprised if we get more than like the first 3 in 4K.
I would be too.
Like eventually maybe get part 2, but that'd be about it. But I mean, part 2 is almost like a weird stepchild anyway. So
yeah. But like, what are some of the? I know that comes with a bunch of goodies. So what are some of the goodies that comes in that set?
Let's see here. Let me kind of look because I have not got a chance to really dig through a bunch. Like I said, I know like with Dolls, you do get the documentary that was on the Shout Factory disc, and along with some new interviews. It looks like here, including you got Stuart Gordon, who's the director, of course, with commentary. New 5.1 mix on Dolls.
Nice.
So I'm pretty sure that the Shout disc is only 2.0. Somebody, yeah, it only says stereo on here, but you can't trust Shout Factory.
Sometimes you can't.
They are never correct. They only say like one. Yeah. But yeah, so like in that respect, and as far as the picture wise go, not a humongous jump from the Shout Factory disc, but better than it was. Let's see here. We also have Cellar Dweller, which has, from what appears to be, quite a few special features. I did not own any of the previous versions of this, so I can't tell you if anything's missing or what's been carried over, but there's tons of stuff here. Some newer stuff like Grabbed by Ghoulies, a new appreciation of John Carl Buechler. I watched that. That was pretty cool. Who, believe it or not, I guess is a distant cousin of Gary Buechler's. And that's one of the first thing I asked him. I said, you know John Carl Buechler? He's like, yeah, he's my cousin, I guess like twice removed or something like that, or like on my mom's side. like as a second cousin or something like that. I'm like, he goes, and that's weird because he goes, and most people get my name wrong. I'm like, yeah, that's the only reason I know how to say it is because I've seen him in a million fucking interviews.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cool.
But let's see here. We've got Arena, which this is the saddest of the bunch, unfortunately. There is a making of some commentaries and other stuff. I wish they had the negative for this one because this is the one that bothers me the most because this is a good scan, but it being off kilter, you can tell. Like, especially during
Right.
the credits, when they're showing like graphics on screen, when there's close-ups, like it feels like it's zoomed into the upper left hand, like, or it's lower left hand side of the screen. It's
Mhm.
weird because it cuts off part of the top and part of the left hand, or no, it'd be zoomed into the right. So, like, because you're missing part of the left and upper part of the screen.
That's
It's really
crazy.
weird. Yeah, Dragon Master. I remember watching my shout disc of this, and it's with something else, and I couldn't find it for the show tonight. I can't remember the other movie that it was packaged with for the Shout Factory one. But I think that only had one version of the movie on it. Because as I said, this has like 3 different versions of the movie on it. The US theatrical cut, the pre-release version, and the international version. Along with some special features. This one looks like it has like the least amount of special features, but it also has 3 different versions of the movie via seamless branching as well. So
That's
go
cool.
figure on that. But I mean, it still looks like it's got a few things on here. Commentary, I reject your reality and my own and substitute my own, a new interview, and so on. So not as much as the other stuff, but if I remember right, the Shout disc didn't have any extras whatsoever. It was just the 2 movies, and that's it.
Right.
Maybe a trailer. And then Robot Jocks, yeah, looks great. Probably looks the best of all the bunch. Sounds amazing. This one I believe also has no, it's only 2.0. As I say, I thought I had a 5.1 mix, but that 2.0 mix just sounded that good, I guess. But yeah, there's tons of special features on here as well. I'm trying to remember. I think this did also get a Shout Factory release, but I did not get it.
Okay.
But it says new interviews, so I'm assuming anything that's new is new, and anything that's not new is probably brought over from the Shout Factory disc, if I had to guess. So yeah, that'd be my guess. And of course, they all have reversible art, and they all come with, as I'll show you here, they all come with a couple of lobby cards that have the newer art on the back of each one, like 3 each or whatever. And then you get a poster that's reversible with the original art and the new art that each one has. And actually, the new art on most of these is pretty good. I'd say it's almost better than some of the Shout Factory's arts we've gotten. Because some of these, I almost thought about flipping around the Robot Jocks one, because that's probably the one that's even better than the original poster art. But like, they all look pretty good. I was kind of impressed. I'll show you. Here's the reversible.
Yeah, the Robot Jocks one looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's the same as the poster, but like, yeah, I've thought about flipping that one around, but the Dolls one is pretty good, but I really like the original art. And they all, that's the thing with these Full Moon and Empire movies, that at least with this set they give you the option to go with the original VHS cover art, because I mean, these are iconic. We remember these all the time, but I mean, here's the one for Dungeon Master, which actually looks really cool, and it even has like what's his face from Wasp on there or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then you even have him on the one of the cards too. Oh, and you also get a video rental Arrow card too.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of neat. But yeah, they each come with a poster and a couple of lobby cards. I'll try and show you each one of the arts here. Arena, I almost kept that one too. The other side, but no. But I had a lot more fun with Arena than I thought I would. And the kid they got in it is like, oh my god, he's like a spitting, like, it's weird. Like, he could have been a Superman if you dyed his hair black. Yeah, he sounds a lot like Christopher Reeve, looks a lot like him. Not like exactly, but like really close. Cellar Dweller. This is the one I think that I actually kind of prefer the original art to.
Yeah.
Because the original art's just the whoop.
Yeah, that looks better.
That, I mean, I remember from the original poster. That one was a little bit of a letdown. I was expecting a little bit more, considering, but then of course Dolls, which is a classic, and
Mm-hmm.
This one has so art on it, but doll it almost makes it look like a Poltergeist ripoff.
A bit there it does, doesn't it? Yeah.
But sadly, they don't have the negative for this one either, because this is what I was hoping they did. Because, like I said, Dolls is one of my favorites growing up, and it almost feels like a predecessor to Puppet Master.
Mm.
In a lot of ways, of course, it helps that what's his face is in it too, Guy Rolfe. But
Oh yeah.
but no, just the whole. I think it's that he brings them to life in a similar way. I'm trying to remember. So that's one of them I didn't get to watch yet. So full disclosure, I pulled a runner, and I didn't get to watch all of them yet. But I did watch Dolls. Like, did I ever bring this on here?
I don't think you ever brought that one on there.
I must have watched it just before I last watched, because I bought this like a year or two ago. It's not that long ago, so it had to be just before I started coming on the show, and I watched it then. Because I spent like 60 some bucks on this Blu-ray.
Dang.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is still $80-$90 set. So I mean, but this is a great set, and I already had Dragon Master 2, which I think I bought. I wish I could remember what the other movie was with it. But trying to remember what I paid for Dragon Master. That I think I only paid like $40 for. But since it had the 2 movies, I didn't think it was as bad or whatever. But
yeah,
I really wish I could remember the other movie that was on there, and I can't. I'll have to go look here. But yeah, no, I can recommend it, and it sounds like you better get your hands on it before it's gone.
Yeah, because it's you never know with these like that when it does that. So once they're gone, and it's hard ever getting them back. So that's why I'm looking forward to picking up some other Arrow stuffs before they go gone, like the Psycho and all that stuff. But yeah, that's really cool that you got that, and I love all that stuff. I'm a huge Charlie Band fan. To be honest with you, it's been a weird Charlie Band full moon day today with me.
Yeah, because you had your review, and you got a free or not a free, but a
screener.
Yeah, screener copy of the new Demonic Toys movie.
Demonic Toys, yes, which is also much like Dolls and more of a the Puppet
Well,
Master
that is
type.
technically a spin-off in a weird way, but yeah, because they actually versed each other. But that was weird because it was a sci-fi movie.
I know, right? But it's like I said, it's weird. I got so it's like these people reached out to me, and you get those emails. I get the emails. You think they're fake, and it turned out to be true. And one that actually turned out to be true. And
I wonder if I should check mine, Doc.
Yeah, you check it. And I got to see Demonic Toys Jack Attack, which is spin up like Dr. Death. They did like the Puppet Masters are doing that. It was actually really good. I was surprised at how good it was, and I dug the movie, and I kind of felt special because I was like, they sent me the link to it and everything, and I was going over it and I was looking at who else, like it hadn't been watched a lot, but like Chris Gore had watched it. I was like in the same leagues as like 39 people and Chris Gore and myself, and I felt pretty good. I felt pretty happy. I was like, wow, shit, yeah. So
I haven't checked with them yet. I don't have their info I don't know how you got a hold of them or what you did.
It's just like this people that work for them, like a marketing thing that works for them, because like I get those all the time. Like they're fake all the time, but this one was actually legitimately real, and they just reached out to me and said, on behalf of Full Moon, would you like to? And I was like, yeah. And so, I made sure I went through all the right channels to make sure it was real, and it was real. So I was happy about that.
All right. Looking it up now. The Dragon Master is the Rage War version of the movie on that Shout disc. It's the unrated cut. And the other movie was Eliminators. A mandroid, part man and part machine, seeks revenge on an evil scientist who created him. Enlisting the help of a beautiful woman, a mysterious ninja, he pursues us. Yeah, I gotta watch that movie now.
Sounds fun.
But yeah, it still looks like it's temporarily out of stock right now on Amazon, I see. But temporarily out of stock means they'll still take orders for it. So, and it's $89.99 right now for the set on Amazon. So there you go.
Okay.
What you got for us?
All right. Well, first off, if anybody wants some Arrow titles, looks like Jim Bivens here says Barnes and Noble's having a 50% off Arrow titles this month. So
Ooh.
check it out. Go to more Barnes and Noble's website or stores in person, because it looks like physical media might be making a comeback in stores. So
Lord.
if Walmart actually has anything to do about it, go
Check
watch
out 4K for you.
Yeah. But as from one empire to another empire, how about we go to early canon films on 4K? So Vinegar Syndrome was having.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, these are very, very early canon films. So this one is X-Ray, and the other one comes with it is Schizoid. I still love it, man, that Vinegar Syndrome artwork. So I'll take this out for you. It's 4K, and X-Ray was the one I wanted. So that's why I bought it, because I was a huge Barbie Benton fan, smoking hot. If you remember her. But it is good. It's like this is the 4K disc of Schizoid, and this is the 4K disc of X-Ray, and then you get both on Blu-ray. So it's a pretty good deal. For $18 I got it when they had a sale. Back when Canon first started, they dipped their hands a little bit in horror slasher type movies. I believe the Schizoid was in 1980, and I want to say X-Ray was 1980, a little later in 1980s, but I'm not seeing 83. Yes, 83. They're pretty fun. X-Ray is the better movie in my opinion, because I liked I was a fan of Barbie Benton, even though I wasn't quite alive when she was at the height of her popularity, but she was smoking hot. The X-Ray essentially is this movie where this woman, she's going to the doctor's. It kind of reminded me of the movie Valentine a little bit, if you've seen that with from the 2000s. But like, she's going to her doctor's to get her you get her results of the checkup she had, and this kid that she spurned years ago on Valentine's Day when they were little is still holding a grudge against her. Go figure. And he just so happens to be in the hospital, but you don't know who he is. And he switches out her test results and makes her stay there overnight. And while she's staying there, he stalks and starts killing people and chasing after her and stuff like that. So it's a pretty fun movie, and it's got a really great scene. The one scene that I always remembered, and the one scene that made me want to rebuy it on 4K, is there's a scene where she gets naked and the doctor examines her, and it's just like this really long, drawn out, eerie scene, but she has great tits, so it really works out. But that was fun. And then Schizoid I had never seen ever, and I actually dug it. I did not expect to dig it as much as I did, but I did. It feels more like a 70s movie than it does an 80s movie, considering it was 1980. You could clearly tell it was made in the 70s. Stars Klaus Kinski, and Christopher Lloyd is in it, so that was pretty cool. I didn't expect to see him. So the story of that is like, there's this woman who does like an Ask Julie column in the newspaper, and she's going through a divorce with her husband, and so she's like in this group therapy, and somebody is killing off the members of her group therapy. And you got to figure out who it is, who is the one killing them. And Christopher Lloyd is, the prime suspect, but I don't want to give anything away if anybody's never seen it. And, but it was actually pretty good. It was pretty solid. I didn't expect to like it as much. I dug it. It felt very 70s. It's got actually a great cast. It has that, what's his guy? If you've ever seen the show Murphy Brown, remember the show Murphy Brown, the guy, Frank?
Yeah.
Frank, he's in it.
What is this called?
It's called Schizoid.
It sounds so friggin' familiar, but the name don't.
This was the more popular of this one. So
okay, I wonder if it had any other titles.
I don't know. I didn't look it up. I could look it up.
I wonder.
But yeah, this one, it was pretty solid. It's kind of like a giallo, or whatever those are called.
Huh.
It's kind of like that, and it's a pretty good mystery. It's pretty solid, very 70s. I mean, I know it's 1980s, but this was clearly made in like 77 or 78. Had to have been, because
it just sounds so familiar from everything you're just saying in the cast and everything. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
and I mean, you get an early appearance by Christopher Lloyd, who's really great in the movie. He plays it so great. He plays it. I love it. But I'm looking to see if it's known by any other names. Let's see here. Not that I'm seeing so far. Huh? No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I'm seeing. Maybe I mean there could have been very similar movies like it, like
Something
that.
like that.
So
Yeah, could be.
yeah, but
Could be.
yeah. Sounds like you need more own X-ray on CED. Look, there you go. That's pretty cool. Yes, Barbie Benton was a former Playboy playmate. Yes, yeah. But no, like Schizoid had a pretty solid cast. It's pretty solid cast and pretty decent mystery. For my money, I liked X-ray better because it's more. It's like a it's just so freaking weird. It's directed by the guy that directed the Last American Virgin.
Boaz,
Something Boaz.
Mm.
Boaz Davison. He directed the Last American Virgin. But like you could tell he wasn't like a horror movie director because like it's so weird. Everybody in the movie is just like has these like as soon as she walks in the hospital, everybody looks at her like they absolutely hate her. Every single person in the hospital. So that was like their way of disguising like you don't know who the person is. It's like they come in, it's like every conversation she had is awkward, it's weird. There's some like they're adding comedy, and there's just some parts that are meant to be maybe scary, but it just comes off as freaking laughable. And I had fun with the movie. That's like my cup of tea. So like I loved it. And then Schizoid was much more solid, much more dramatic, much more scary, very sort of like Italian giallo, like I said. Giallo, however you pronounce that. But yeah, it was pretty solid. And the 4Ks look amazing. And I'm glad they each have a separate 4K disc and not just, all on one 4K disc. So the 4Ks look great scans of the film. Yeah, I can recommend them. If you're looking for some just like good, fun, cheesy early Canon films before Canon was Canon, I highly recommend these films. I do highly recommend them. You can tell the Golan Globus guys, they were going to go somewhere because this was before the big Canon heyday. So definitely check those out if you get a chance. I was so happy to get them for $18 because they're going for like $40 normally. So
yeah, I didn't know about that part of the sale, but
yeah,
I did get a few, but that was a while back. But
yeah, this was after the big Black Friday sale. They were celebrating something, and like each day they had certain Blu-rays for $7, certain Blu-rays for $10, and then they went to certain 4Ks for $18.
I must have missed out on all those.
Yeah. So, and I grabbed up a couple of the 4Ks that I like. That one I've been really, really wanting to get because it just was great, and because like I remembered X-Ray, I remember the Barbie Benton stuff, and then Schizoid just so happened to be a bonus because it actually was a really good movie. It was pretty solid. So I can recommend them if you're into that type of stuff. And that's my big, like I said, from Empire to Canon. That was like that populated our screens.
Yeah, now we just need to do a. What's weird is I don't have a Corman movie for my last pick, but
oh yeah,
might as well be a
nice.
Canon movie anyway.
Yeah. So what's up, Deleted Scenes? Glad you got here. We started a little early tonight. But yeah,
we'll probably be ending a little early because this is my last pick. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, if you're ready for your next pick, you can go ahead because that's all I got.
I was we have a show on Tuesdays. I'm sure I brought it up before called Toxic Tuesday that I go on from time to time where we talk about manly movies and how toxic they are and all that business. This week's movie was a Van Damme classic in quotations. That movie was Lionheart, and I have the MVD release here from I want to say this is like 4 or 5 years old now at most. So I think it was the 25th anniversary or something. No, 2018. Yeah, so 5 years. Yeah. But yeah, and I think I even have this movie in another like 5-pack with Van Damme. But guess from what my research and what I found out, because I didn't even know until I opened this up the other night to watch it, that there's an extended cut of the movie on here.
For real?
For real. And I went down this rabbit hole of figuring all this shit out because I guess the standard version of the movie on here is the same scan from the Universal multi-disc set. And you can tell it's not the greatest scan in the world. It looks all right. It's decent enough. But then the other scan comes from a combination of, I believe, the the German Blu-ray and cobbled pieces from wherever they could find them. Because this, I guess, notoriously was released under several different titles. Lionheart being one of the only places it was called that is the U.S., believe it or not. But it was known as Wrong Bet, AWOL, Leon, another movie called Leon. Go figure. Not the professional Leon, but Leon the Street Fighter, which is kind of ironic because if you've ever seen this movie, you know that that's pretty much the whole plot is it's about street fighting. It's funny because a couple years later, Van Damme would be in a movie about Street Fighter and there wouldn't be one fucking street fight in the whole movie. But this is basically Street Fighter, the movie right here.
Yeah.
Really. Did it hold up? No. It's not. Is it one of Van Damme's better films? Yes. Is it one of the better films of the 90s? No. It has a lot of plot holes. It is a cobbled mess, and you can kind of figure out why because the movie started life as like 3 different movies.
Really? Well, yeah,
Part of
you
it,
just list them.
part of them. Well, no, because part of it was a little bit of Van Damme's idea. 2 completely unrelated writers, and then this guy that Van Damme was working with, who at the time was rewriting Rambo 3 and working on a Legionnaire film for Sylvester Stallone. So Van Damme was helping him work on swear words and other things in French.
Huh.
And then that fell apart because the writer director of this, who was the one working with Sly, I can't remember his name. It's Sheldon Leitich. However you say it, Leitich. However you say it. He and Sly didn't see eye to eye on the Legionnaire film because Sheldon thought the movie should be a period piece, and Sly thought it should be a modern film. So what was weird is they ended up using a lot of some of those ideas in this, but this takes place in the modern time, so he still didn't get his way in the end of the day. But what also happened is some of those ideas ended up being in a film called Legionnaire that Van Damme made a couple of years after this, if you're familiar with it. So there's that side of the history of this film. So yeah, it's a cobbled mess. They went through arbitration over the writers of who actually wrote what and what idea came from where, because everybody takes credit for everything in this movie. In the making of it, everybody pats themselves on the back. And I guess this movie did very well in a lot of different territories that we don't even really know because it's hard to keep track of because of all the different fucking titles it's under.
Of course.
So I guess as far as Van Damme goes, this is actually one of his higher grossing films and you wouldn't even know it. But yeah, I mean, the story is sort of simple, but also complicated because there's plot holes. They give you explanations, but some of the explanations don't make sense. The short version is Van Damme is in like basically Legionnaire prison or whatever in the beginning of the movie. And what we kind of find out is that he's possibly in there for taking the rap for his brother and his brother's drug problem and something to do with a drug running scheme. And his brother has now gotten himself killed. And Van Damme wants to go to America, to California, to help his sister-in-law and niece out and hopefully get there before his brother dies. But of course, he knows he doesn't have much time anyway. Spoilers, but yeah.
Yeah.
And the homoeroticness of this movie, oh my God, it has one of the greatest lines in the history of movies. One of the guys looks at Van Damme and he goes, "You're so pretty, boy. I don't know whether to fight you or to fuck you."
Yeah, I remember that.
This movie feels like it was written by a 10-year-old. It is the most uneven, and there's really even this one part where the music is combating with itself. Like you have the scene that starts out where Van Damme's training like a Rocky sequence, jogging down the road, and you got a type music going, and then he happens to see his niece. So then this lovely theme comes in, but they don't pull out the doom, 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 doom music. You literally
Mhm.
have both types of music playing over top of each other. That's this movie. That's a metaphor for this whole fucking movie. Because don't get me
True.
wrong, it's fun. It's very watchable. This is definitely the type of movie that me and my buddies used to get together on a summer day, when school's out,
Yeah.
and we'd either, chill out and either smoke, cook a pizza, smoke some pot or drink some beers or whatever, somebody hawked from their old man, typical thing, and just have an afternoon, evening of it, watching a couple Van Damme movies. This is usually one of them that everybody can agree on. But as I said, it just doesn't hold up. The nostalgia factor of it didn't save it. The director's cut or extended cut or whatever you want to call it doesn't really help the movie. It's only 6 minutes long, and most of it's just extensions of scenes. And as they kind of explain in the making of, I don't know what my cat just did, but he's gonna get his ass kicked. I don't know if you heard that noise, but he's been doing shit for the last like 5-10 minutes here, and he's getting on my nerves.
Because he knows
he knows I can't leave this where I'm at right now.
He's like, what you gonna do about it?
Yeah, what you gonna do about it, bitch? Anyway, I lost my train of thought there for a moment. But so like most of it's just extensions of scenes, nothing that really changes the overall film. Like they kind of talk like it's supposed to make the movie this better, great movie, but it doesn't. Because it's not really anything astronomically different about the movie. And it has one of the dumbest endings in the history of movies. Like this movie is a great example of why Tarantino said movies in the 80s were the worst. Because it has one of those endings that is such an 80, even though it came out in 90, it was clearly shot in 89 or whatever, or written around it. It's an 80s movie. It's a transitional period movie. You can definitely tell. It just has a weird, dumb ending to it. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who may not have actually seen this movie. And I know I'm sounding like I hated the movie, but of course I loved it for his goofy batshit crazy. It's got some of the worst acting ever in a movie. Stupid plot holes. The fight scenes are, just for Van Damme to show off, but it's glorious. It's that era captured very well. And I mean, it's the better Street Fighter movie than we got as an actual Street Fighter movie at the end of the day.
Right. I remember I actually saw it in theaters. So try to explain that line.
I didn't even finish the plot. So like, basically when he gets to America, after escaping Legionnaire prison or whatever the fuck you call it, because they're not real clear on it. But all you're clear on is he's only got 6 weeks left to serve, and then he'd be out of there. But instead he breaks out, which could put him in for a lot longer, obviously. But anyhow, so when he gets to America, he gets wrapped up in the street fighting business, obviously, and that's where he starts to earn money to help his family. So that's the rest of the plot, basically. I didn't mean to not finish, but I mean, you kind of got the gist of that, I imagine. So, but anyhow, that's it.
Yeah, it's a good one. I didn't even know that was out on. No, wait, did I know? No, I don't think I did know that was out on MVD. So I might have to pick that up and just give it a watch.
Well, and I didn't even know it had this extended cut to it. But I mean,
I never knew
it's
that at all.
Like I said, I didn't even finish explaining that. Like basically, it's like some territories they knew they'd want an explosion or extra heart to the fight, or here and there, or some extra family scenes. So it's really just all that stuff put back in. There's just like little extensions here and there, and an extra explosion and during the escape scene, and when his brother's set on fire, you see him on fire for an extra 2 or 3 seconds. Like it's like you could tell watching the extended cut what has been added, because clearly what's been added outside of what was in the German cut looks like it's from like an old print. I mean, it's HD or upconverted HD, but you can take it jumps like quality. So like, I mean, it's pretty clear to tell what's been added in this version. But I guess because this version actually has the title of Leon, and it was called Leon the Street Fighter in some places. Not to be confused with Leon the Professional again. That's a different French guy.
That's probably why it succeeded so well outside of hey, is this like a sequel to Leon the Professional?
Well, which is funny because they talk about a sequel, and I guess Van Damme had actually planned on doing another sequel to this up until he talks about it even in the making of it.
Huh.
And that's the thing is, I didn't realize how big of a hit it was for him internationally and shit. So,
I didn't know that. But the thing, like with Van Damme, he's still talking about doing a sequel to Double Impact. So like to this day, he's like,
Well,
yeah,
the
it's
same
in the
guy
works.
directed that, so
Yeah, he's like, it's in the works. We got it. It's coming. It's like, dude, it's been like 40 years.
yeah.
Yeah, but
I'd be
yeah, I haven't seen
surprised.
that one in a long time. I may have to give that one a rewatch if I get it because it's
I
been
mean, I
a
don't even
long
remember what I
time.
paid for it, but
Yeah, well, MVDs usually aren't too
pretty
bad in
cheap.
price.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a good
Um,
question for you. We'll go
yeah.
ahead. What you were going
No,
to
go
say?
ahead.
I was going to say, what's your favorite Jackie Chan fight scene? Bronson wants to know.
Oh, balls. I have not seen a whole shit ton of his movies. I've seen mostly his American stuff. I've seen like Drunken Master and some others, but I can't think of one particular one, but I'm probably Drunken Master as far as his
Yeah.
action, his
I
fight
always,
choreography.
I always remember that fight scene in I know it's where he goes to Brooklyn. What's that called?
Rumble in the Bronx.
Rumble in the Bronx. Isn't there like one where he's like fighting a bunch of guys in an alley?
Yeah.
I think in it, yeah, like I remember that scene being pretty cool when I saw it the first time. I was like, I think that was my first experience with Jackie Chan besides the Cannonball Run movies.
I probably
So-
remember the outtakes more than I do anything else.
Yeah, where he like falls and stuff through
Breaks something, yeah.
Yeah, I remember those two. But I always remember that fight scene like in the alley in Rumble in the Bronx. I always thought that was a pretty cool fight scene. So
Yeah, that's a fun one.
yeah.
Well, that's what I got.
Yep. Like it was called Wrong Bet in Australia.
Yep. Yeah, that was funny in the making of. They're talking like, yeah, we can't call this movie Wrong Bet. There's no fucking way. The critics are gonna have a field day with that. Don't bet on Wrong Bet. We could see the headlines. But yeah, there's another small weird story to this. I forgot to tell real quick.
Go
You know
ahead.
who Lawrence Bender is?
Sounds very familiar.
Okay. You may not recognize him because he's a producer now, but he was a wannabe actor at one point. And he
Mhm.
actually has a very small cameo in this movie where after the first fight is over, he goes up to this dude who says, "Oh, I could kick his ass," blah, blah, blah. And he's like, "You want to try, punk," or whatever. And he's got like a ponytail or whatever. That's Bender.
Oh
Well, okay. So this movie was made by Imperial Entertainment. The guy who happened to be the salesman for Imperial Entertainment Video at the time was Quentin Tarantino.
Oh.
So he was the guy that would call up video stores and say, "Hey, this week's title or this month's titles are blah, 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 blah. How many can I put you down for?" That kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So those two met while he was making this movie. Lawrence Bender went on to produce all of Tarantino's big movies from Reservoir Dogs on. So it's like this movie also had a weird kind of little, because the director was going to make another movie with Lawrence Bender. It didn't work out. So he gave him a cameo in this movie. Quentin, they met at some point during this whole thing. And it was like, yeah, so there's all these little weird stories that are like, it's one of those movies where the making of is probably almost more interesting.
I mean, it's not the Apocalypse Now making, but it sounds better.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Sometimes, like even like we enjoy that movie. Sometimes the bullet went on behind those movies like that, especially Van Damme movies and Seagal movies. Those stories are better than the actual movies they made.
Yeah, I can't stand Seagal. Like, I mean, Van Damme's not my favorite, but Seagal's probably my least favorite. But yeah,
I know we had some people in the chat saying like Tyrell and them were saying they like Seagal better than Van Damme. I liked Van Damme better. I think the only Seagal movies I really liked was Under Siege Part 1, which is a really great movie. And I think that's a testament to Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey and Erica Laniak, who has a nice kick scene. Marked for Death, I think, was pretty good. And what was the other one he did? It's like
he's done a lot.
And it's like his very, very early ones was like the best. And then like Under Siege was like his best. And then after that, it was just.
I have never really watched. I hated Seagal. No offense to anybody.
I don't know. I've never liked him. Like I said, I think there was only like 3 Seagal movies I really liked. With Under Siege being the best because of the cast that was actually in that movie. Yeah. But yeah, I think Van Damme was better. I do. I think Van Damme was better.
Like I've literally maybe seen 2 or 3 Seagal movies, and Under Siege is I barely remember.
Yeah.
Trying to think of the ones I've seen. The one he did with Kurt Russell, I've seen.
Oh yeah, Executive Order. That one's not
Yep.
too bad. But then
Yeah.
again, he's only in it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, as I say, I think he's not in it that long. That's the plus.
The Kurt Russell movie. So.
What's the one he did with? Was it Dennis Rodman or one of those guys back in the time? I can't remember.
Did he do one with Dennis Rodman?
Not Dennis. It may not have been Dennis Rodman, but it was one of those guys. I'm trying to remember who it was now.
I know he did one in the 2000s where they tried to make a comeback with DMX.
Because I know maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I think I might have seen that one. But otherwise, I know I seen. Maybe that's it. As I say, I know I seen one where he did something like that with like some rapper or something like that, or basketball player or whatever. Because it would have probably been about the same time Van Damme did the one with Rodman.
Was it? Oh, was it? Didn't he do one with Keenan Ivory Wayans?
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I don't remember. It was when I had the video store. That's one of the only reasons I watched it. But I was like,
Limmerman with Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that one's all right.
Okay, so that's the other one I saw. Otherwise, I've just not seen any of his films.
I don't blame you. Like I said, I don't blame you. No, personally, I do not think Steven Seagal was a good actor. Like I said, he is an acquired taste, Brian Barth. I don't think he was a great actor, and I totally get where Tom's coming from. Trust me, I'm not saying he's my favorite because Van Damme, always liked Van Damme better, and then like Stallone and Schwarzenegger, and those were like the guys I.
Mine was always like Stallone, then Schwarzenegger, then like Chuck Norris and Charles Bronson were probably all on the same level for me. And then way down the list, you got like Seagal, Van Damme somewhere in between there.
Yep. I'm sort of in the same boat there, but
like right behind Lundgren and shit.
Yeah.
Like I probably saw a Universal Soldier more for Lundgren than I did Van Damme at that time, if that tells you anything.
Yeah.
Like he still wasn't that big of a deal yet.
Yeah. That was a good movie though. That was one of the better Terminator ripoffs.
But I mean, that was a point where we just wanted to go see Lundgren play a bad guy again.
Yeah, and he steals that movie. He legit steals that movie because without his craziness and him tearing people's ears off and making a necklace and stuff, I mean, he does a great job in that movie. I don't know. Was it? I thought it was Kickboxer that was released on 4K in Germany, wasn't it?
Yeah,
was it Bloodsport too.
I think it's. No, it was Bloodsport. It wasn't Kickboxer.
Bloodsport on 4K. I don't know when
because I should be having it coming here pretty soon.
Yeah, you can import to 4K because it's region free, but I don't know when the 4K US version is coming. So I don't know when that would be coming, Adolfo. But yeah.
I know I ordered that one.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason Steven Seagal kind of fizzled out quicker than some of the others. So.
He fizzled out because he filled out. I mean, at least Van Damme considering all the cocaine, looks pretty good for his fucking age.
Yeah, he's still pretty
compared to a lot of the other ones. He looks a lot better.
Let's say him and Stallone probably kept the best shape.
Actually, I think mine's on the way. It should be here. Oh no, it hasn't been dispatched yet, but it says arriving the 2nd of September to the 6th of September, so should be heading out anytime now, I would think.
There you go. Alexis Zorba has already got his 4K still.
The release date.
Yeah.
Pre-order price guarantee. Oh yeah, so it doesn't even come out till this next week here in the UK. So
man.
I should have it. I mean, the shipping has gotten a lot better post-pandemic. I'll tell you that right now than what it was for a while there.
Well, that's good. I'm hoping to get my Psycho set pretty decent because I did. Yeah. I pre-ordered that, so I'm hoping to get that quick.
I hope I get mine too. I ordered mine through I think it was Arrow Direct.
Nice.
Which is basically Zavi or whatever, but
yeah, because Zavi owns Arrow now. Yeah. I don't know where Steven Seagal is these days. I think a lot of people, somebody lied to him and told him he was a master, and he just like
$5 says a Dunkin' Donuts.
I know you're not a fan of
Chinese buffet.
I know you're not really like Matt TV, but have you ever seen that Matt TV
All
skit
right.
with Will Sasso as
Yeah,
Fat
that one's all
Steven
right.
Seagal? That was pretty funny.
That one's pretty good.
Yeah,
It
that-
has
that
its
was-
moments.
Yeah. I just remember bits and pieces from that show. What's up, Martin? Glad to have you here. Greetings. But yeah, I have to check out Lionheart. I have not seen that in a long, long time. I do remember being cheesy, crazy, just insane.
The thing is I get a lot of like. I think what happened in my brain is I ended up mixing it up with Nowhere to Run. So I think Nowhere to Run's much better.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
Yeah, because that's got what's his name from Silence of the Lamb in it, and one of the Arquettes. Yeah.
Well, it's basically a similar story.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's a on the run prisoner, and he finds a wife, a woman, and a kid. And they take him in, and he kicks ass. That's pretty much the story. But okay, yeah, that was a good second pick there. Good, you. I mean, from not watching a lot, you had some really good ones tonight, so that's cool. So I guess, well, if you're ready, I'll go on to my final pick of the night for everybody here. Now this was the other 4K I got from Vinegar Syndrome when it was doing that deal, and this is one I've been wanting to get on a 4K for a long time because the Blu-ray was a made-to-order Blu-ray, where they burned it for you and sent it out to you. So now we have an official 4K copy of Summer of '84. This is a great flick. You get here's the 4K, here's the 4K, here's the Blu-ray. We got to look in reverse here. So we got finally an official Blu-ray of it, an official 4K. This is a great movie. If you've if you've ever thought watching like 80s movies, I'm stealing a line from the directors of this movie. Like if you ever thought like watching like the movies Goonies or something like that and thinking that there's no way these kids would actually survive some of the stuff they're going in situations into, like if they like when they were putting Chunk's hand in the blender, real bad guys would have put his hand all the way in and like chopped his hand up. So that's where this taken. So the basic Brian Barth, it is the final pick. We're just doing a short show tonight. Tom has to get to bed early and stuff, and we didn't get much watch, so just let you know. But this movie here, Summer of '84, I highly do recommend because it's does the 80s right. It gives you that 80s vibe. It's very much in the vein of something like Goonies or Monster Squad, or it's doing what like I was telling Tom, what Stranger Things was trying to do as an 80s show. It captures that feel. It's heavily inspired by Steven Spielberg, John Carpenter, all those movies like that. It's about this group of kids who live in a small Oregon town. It feels very 80s. It feels like this was actually legitimately shot in the 80s because the director said the 80s were not like neon lights and bright colors and glowing clothes and stuff. It was very brown. It's like if you grew up in the 80s and the early 90s, yes, like you had like brown wooden walls and stuff like that. It was like the neon stuff only came in like if you went to like the bowling alley or skating rink or something. Or like if you were watching MTV and stuff. That's where all like the neon stuff comes from. But like these kids that live in a small town, and this one boy, his name is Davey. He starts to think that his next door neighbor, who is a police officer, is this serial killer that the town have been notified about, who's going around killing kids their age. And so it's very much Rear Window. He gets him and his friends to spy on him because this kid is like obsessed with those like tabloids and stuff and like missing people. And he so desperately wants something to happen in this small town, and he thinks it's finally happening. And so him and his friends are spying on this guy, and the kids are getting taken and stuff. And so like, don't expect this movie to be like the happy-go-lucky like Goonies and stuff, because like crap goes down. They may not. I don't want to spoil the ending because this ending is this ending will get you. It takes you by surprise. It gets dark. It's a bit of a gut punch, but it is what the ending needed. I mean, it's what you need to see because it works so well. And I applaud them for taking that chance and not just trying to say, hey, look, this is a movie with kids on bike with the sense sound and it's Stranger Things. No, it's got that, but it's got like, this is a movie. This is what you want to see. And one of the funniest things I noticed watching this is this must have been, I don't know if it was on the directors or whoever wrote its part, but it is clearly copying scenes from what is the name of that movie? I just had it in my head and it slipped out. The Burbs. Because it's very much in the Burbs. They live in a cul-de-sac. You know, they're spying on their neighbor. The one time when the neighbor leaves, they go and tear out his garbage. They go dig up the backyard, and while they're digging up the backyard, the friends are trying to call them on the walkie-talkie, and they cover
Very
up the
rear window-ish too.
Yeah, it's very rear window-ish, and they cover up the walkie-talkie with the dirt, like they're digging just like in the Burbs. So like it hits all those notes, like the Burbs, Rear Window, Hitchcock, Carpenter, Spielberg, and it's really good. It's really well acted. It does the 80s right, and it doesn't try to be like, hey, look, we're the 80s. Remember this? Remember that? You know, it's like, okay, here, we're the 80s. This is what is happening right now. So, Roman Polanski's Goonies. Yeah, sort of like a Stand By Me with a little more edge. Yeah. Because, like, things get really serious in this movie, especially. I mean, you get these. I like the fact that because like we talk about a lot of times in the 80s, that's like Robert Meyer Burnett likes to talk big time, is like that's when the kids became smarter than the parents, became smarter than adults and stuff, which, you know, as kids growing up at age, we like that. So in this, like, yeah, this kid that leads this group, he's a smart kid, and he does, you know, he does put together a pretty compelling case, but like, there's a reason it's got the guy that is the serial killer in the movie is a serial killer and managed to get away for so long. So like, you know, it gives you what you want to see and stuff. And I don't want to, because like, it's hard not to want to spoil the ending to this movie, but I don't want to spoil the ending to this movie because it's like when you get to it, it's totally worth it. It's such a good movie. I highly recommend it. It's a great thriller. I mean, if you get a chance to get this, get it. The 4K is still available on Vinegar Syndrome, but like I said, you can go to Amazon and order the Blu-ray, but it's one of those made to order Blu-rays. So like when you order it, and which it's cheap. So like when you order that, but if you want the official real Blu-ray in 4K, Vinegar Syndrome has that as of right now. But yeah, I highly recommend this. It's a great story, and it just, I don't know, man. I dig this movie, and I had not watched it in a long time, and the 4K looks great. So if you've never seen this and you want to try it, definitely try it out. It's also for anybody that does streaming. It's streaming on Shudder. So if you're looking for anywhere to stream it, if you don't want to, I mean, this is a physical media show. I'm pulling a runner now. It's on Netflix. But if you don't want to buy it, or if you want to test drive the movie before you buy the movie,
I watched it on my phone.
Yeah, I watched it on my phone in bed. Didn't feel like putting in the disc.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, like if I know some people like that is a benefit of streaming. I will admit, like if you want to watch the movie before you buy the movie, you can watch it on Shudder if you have that. And this I agree with. Yes.
I gotta let everybody know. Speaking of sales, we talked about sales earlier. I didn't realize this. Groove has a hell of a sale going on right now. 3 for $30 on 4K UHD titles.
Nice.
Tons of great shit. I mean, I have a lot of these already, but we're talking like Big Lebowski, stuff like Apollo 13, Backdraft, Hellboy 2, Waterworld, American Gangster,
Nice.
Batman versus TMNT, Batman and Robin,
Cool.
Heart of the Sea, Wolfman, War Dogs. Let's see here. What else
Is Rear Window on that? Because I actually want to watch Rear Window now after I was watching that, because I was like, I really want to watch Rear Window now.
Frankenstein's in here. So far, only Saboteur is the only Hitchcock one I've seen so far.
Because I was wanting to get the 4K of that.
Let's see here. What else? Mummy Returns, Do the Right Thing. I'm just... This isn't even all of them. I'm just naming the bigger ones, guys. There's tons more, like Hunger Games. Let's let's see here. Pacific Rim Uprising, considering we just mentioned that. Hell or High Water, even though Hell or High Water is getting a new steelbook, but I believe it's the same disc. Ghost in the Shell, John Wick 3, 47 Ronin. Let's see here. Red, Split, The Incredible Hulk.
That's good movies there. Some
Yeah,
of
there's still quite a few left here. Despicable Me 3, the original Hulk, Ang Lee one, Creed 2, Minions, Despicable Me 2, Wonder Woman, Shazam, bunch of different titles. Bunch of the Hunger Games ones, Twilight if you're into that shit.
That's twice Twilight's come up today.
I know, right? A bunch of the Bourne movies, 50 Shades of Grey and 50 Shades Darker if you're into that stuff. Yeah, it looks like all the Bourne movies are on sale here. Like, there's some good titles here if you, want to build up your collection for cheap.
I may have to do that. I may just do that and also get.
I see the Meg is on here. It's really? It's on the banner, but I don't remember seeing it. Yeah, there's quite a few on the banner I don't remember seeing in the thing unless they sold out of them already.
I like the first two Bourne movies. I like the first two ones.
There's a couple of the Jurassic World movies I saw in here too, I thought.
Nice. I may have to do that.
Yeah, Shadow of Doubt and Saboteur are the only two Hitchcock ones I see here.
Dang.
Yeah,
oh well, like it's still only like $20 for
Field of Dreams, Peter Jackson, King Kong, Total Recall, Casino's on here. The Mummy movies are on here. The original Lego movie, Rampage, the Pikachu movie, if that's your thing.
I actually have that on 4K.
The Birds is on here, so I'm surprised Rear Window isn't. Here's Godzilla vs. Kong. That was one that was on the batter, and King of Monsters. Here's Meg. Yep, Meg's in here too. Last Night in Soho, Batman Forever, Creed. So both Creeds. Marnie's in here. Yeah, I don't see Rear Window though. Sorry, bud.
That sucks, man.
Psycho wasn't in here either though.
Well, see, like I was going to buy the Hitchcock set, and I almost bought it, and then they're releasing all 4 Psychos, the first set, I mean, and they're releasing all 4 on 4K. I was like, well, I'll just buy the other one separate now, the other Hitchcock movie separate. And I'm going to get
get the Birds here, and some other stuff while you're at it. The original or Chapter 2, it looks like it's here. I don't know if the original one's in here, but I would imagine so. Like, I'm just skimming through these mostly, so. Quite a few. I've got so many of them already that I don't know if I'll get any, but I'd have a hard time finding 3 I don't have.
I mean, like these salesmen are popping up and they're killing it.
Like a lot of these are ones I paid $20-$30 for originally.
Yeah, and that's a heck of a seriously. If you want to flesh out your 4K collection, there 3 for $30 is a hell of a deal.
Groove is one of the best places out there, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I did not know about them until like last year. With the first thing I ordered was I think the Eminem movie.
8 Mile.
8 Mile, yeah, and ever since then I almost monthly I get stuff because they always have good sales, and it's usually I get all the Universal titles through there for good price. I think if you order certain titles, like pre-order titles, I think you get them for free shipping. Even if you don't buy like $60 worth of shit or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's just because I think the Eminem one I got free shipping on, and that was all I ordered.
Well, that's cool. That's a good sell. Speaking of another sell, I do believe that Shout Factory is actually having a Shout Select sale right now.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah, a lot of their Shout Select titles are on sale. For
actually, I think I knew that. I think I got a few.
Yeah. So if you want to do that too. It's a shame. I wish I would have told you guys about the Vinegar Syndrome the day they had the 4Ks for $18 because they had a bunch of them for $18. And Summer of '84 and Schizoid and X-Ray I had to grab those because I've been wanting those for a while. So, but yeah, that Groove is great. Yeah, big time. I think I'm gonna have to go through there and maybe pick up some titles. 3 for $30 that's a pretty damn good deal for 4K movies. Especially since Universal tends to be one with better scans than most people. So, And some of them aren't just Universal movies too. So it's a good time to be a physical media collector. That's what I keep saying, man. It's like so many people keep trying to say like, oh, physical media is dying. Nobody's buying physical media. I've done like, I don't know how many physical media videos here lately, and they have like exploded, and the comment sections have exploded, at least for my channel. When I say exploded for my channel, with people saying how much they still buy physical media and all this. And I'm like, this just proves it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, I got a few. They weren't all shout selects, but I picked up like a Abraxas, Road Games, Hell Knight, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Next Generation, Cockfighter on Golden Pond. I think on Golden Pond was the only one that was the shout select title I grabbed. But yeah.
I don't know if I can get next Texas Chainsaw Next Generation.
I got it because it was only $20, and I'm like, I better get it now before it goes out of print.
Yeah, that's true. That's smart.
I mean, it's bad, but it
has some fun moments, but still.
Yeah. I mean, Matthew McConaughey, Renee
Zellweger, yeah.
I mean, almost just for that part alone, it's worth it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, it's got my least favorite Leatherhead, that's for sure, but
yeah, that like the weakest Leatherface of the whole series.
Or Leatherface. Did I say Leatherhead? Jesus.
Yeah, that Leatherhead.
Talking too much Ninja Turtles in the last 2 or 3 weeks here. I'm sorry. And I'm starting to get punchy, yeah.
Nah. I get you. But yeah, I know you have to get to bed early tonight and stuff. So I hope we gave you guys a good show tonight. I know
it was short.
Yeah, I know it's a little short, but hey.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. But yeah, I know it's a little shorter than usual. But I hope we gave you guys a good show. I mean, we did go about an hour and 11 minutes. We did start a little early. I mean, we got 41 people watching right now, so that's pretty cool right there. So I'm glad you guys stuck with us.
Yeah, it's one of our bigger crowds, I think, ain't it?
Yeah, one of the bigger crowds here. I'm still a budding channel, you know. I'm not huge, but I gotta say,
that's almost like twice what we're used to, ain't it?
Yeah, you usually are about 25 people.
Yeah, as I said, almost twice anyway. Not quite, but well, welcome all you newcomers. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
This isn't even one of the more exciting ones. You should see when Runner's here and we're doing nothing but giving him shit.
Yeah. Damn Black Red. It's because Runner isn't here. It's true. But I mean, I gotta be honest. Before as I get ready to close, I've felt really good about my channel here lately. Granted, the last 2 videos I've just released haven't done as good as my physical media videos because they weren't geared towards physical media. Because I do all kinds of stuff here, not just physical media. But that's the number one target. I got a little bit of a growth in my channel, and that made me feel good. And like I said, it made me feel really good that I was considered to give it a screener of a full moon movie like Chris Gore.
That's
so
awesome.
Like even if I'm making like 20 views a video and only 10 likes or something, that made me feel good. So I'm happy.
Yeah, that's cool. I'd rather see somebody like you than some of these other adults that I just can't stand out there. Yeah.
Some of those people out there, I'm like, how do you get this? And like, I'm doing better than you, and you got that before me. And not that I'm not trying to be jealous or anything.
Surprised their wife let them.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I say that out loud? Might give away who I'm talking about there.
I get you. And it's honestly, it's not. I'm not trying to be jealous because I don't really care. But it's just sometimes it's like
it's not jealousy. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, it's just sometimes twiddle my thumbs. Like, that's okay. I got an audience that likes me and respects me. I don't need.
There's really only like 1 or 2 people in the physical media community I cannot stand, and I'm not going to name names. I'm just going to say that. And anybody else though, I'll take that back. There's only one I can't stand. One I like, but I'm just kind of flabbergasted by some of the things they say or do sometimes. Other than that, there's some great folks I've been trying to reach out to. There's some specifically I really want to get on like 4K for you to talk to. But like I know Serial at Midnight's one I've definitely tried, and Robert managed to beat us to the punch on that one.
Yeah, I know. I've tried Serial Midnight too, but he's like always, he's been really busy lately, and I haven't been able to get him. So
it is what it is. And Robert's safer than me, so I know how it is.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, we'll see how it goes. But we got plans and we got stuff we want to do. So stay tuned, guys. This is, in other words, this is basically one of the more boring shows
Yeah. But
that
we
you'll
got
probably
plans
come
for you.
across
Yeah.
in a while. So.
But yeah, like I said though, thank you, Tom, for being on here. Thank you everybody in the chat for hanging with us, everybody watching. You guys are awesome. I really like my audience is growing, and that made me feel really good. And it's because of you guys. It's because of you guys. And I hope you guys stick around. And Tom, I like this. I did enjoy that. The best comment of the day was the Toxic Avenger poster looked like Suicide Squad. It did.
I didn't know he was a member now. Yeah.
It did. But yeah, seriously,
Fucking
thank y'all.
Peter Dinklage is the damn
I
Toxic
know, I can't believe
Avenger.
that. And I know Lloyd Kaufman's promoting it because he gets money off of it, but I just can't see him really liking this. But
he don't care. He got money.
Yeah, he don't care. He's just getting his money. But thank you all seriously so very much for being subscribed here, watching the show, hanging with us tonight. I appreciate you guys. I've had a crazy week, and it's been a good weekend. So we'll catch you on the next show. Yeah.
Speaking, Mid-Level Media just dropped his Chucky movies already. Lucky shit.
Oh, he already got his Child's
Yeah,
Play
he
movie?
just dropped it.
Damn.
Lucky
It happens every time,
bastard.
big. Lucky man. But hey,
Maybe
we'll get
mine will
him.
be here in the next day or two. I'll look.
I really want to pick up a Bride of Chucky. I really want to get that
I
one.
thought they were delayed till next month.
Yeah, I thought they were, weren't they? Yeah, didn't they?
Yeah,
say
I
they
hope.
delayed.
I really hope fucking Bride of Chucky looks as good as I am thinking it's gonna look.
Yeah, I really want to get that one.
Because that needed an upgrade badly. But I remember it looking so gorgeous in theaters.
Yeah, it did. It's one of the better. I really enjoy that's like Child's Play 2, 3, and Bride of Chucky are the ones I really enjoy. So, but once again,
What would Martha Stewart say?
what she said? Yeah, fuck Martha Stewart. Am anatomically
Martha
correct.
Stewart can kiss my plastic butt.
I just see somebody say like the space between Elvira and Dolly Parton is what's her name? Jennifer Tilly. I heard somebody say that today.
I can see that.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay, it comes out in 2 weeks from now, so it should be. So yeah, maybe I'll be getting. I don't think it's. Let me see if my thing's shipped. I don't know if I can tell. It says partial. Yeah, I can't tell if it's shipped or not. Huh.
Really?
I usually get emails though, so we'll see. He probably got lucky and got a little earlier.
I mean, he's one of the. He's a pretty good channel. So.
Yeah, I'm not griping about him. That's a good sign. It means they should be coming soon.
He's got pretty good takes. So, and
he's one of the guys I wouldn't mind talking to.
Yeah, he's got good takes, and he knows his stuff when it comes to the scans and stuff, and he'll tell you. So.
Yeah.
But once again, truly, like I know I keep saying it, but truly, thank you all so very much for joining us tonight, watching us tonight, even on the show. Yeah, even on a show like this. But thank you so very much. Have a great night. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
How you doing? Bitches leave.